It wasn't, dude. Oh my god, that sucks. What's it called? Doesn't need Tarek, Sedge, Lysandra. You could play the Zeri version with 6 on with Last Whisper. You don't need it. Noxus, Garen. Storks are super good still if you hit. It's probably Storks is probably your best bet. Or you can just do full open into legendaries is what most people do. Yeah, Ari doesn't need any of that. She just needs Ari. Would you rather have a whole cold or warm hand on your balls for 5 minutes? I guess cold, but that's a weird question. In advice for getting the TFT, find a character you think looks cool and then build stuff with traits like with that character. That is my best advice. My hands are cold. All right, man. You guys don't want Targan? Come on. How you pick cold or warm? I mean, why would you? I don't know. I just like the cold. Targon? Yes. Something from Targon. I'm full open. See you guys. See you guys. See you guys at 40 HP. Wait, okay, so what are the options for Targon Prime? It's a sign. They sent me a sign. I must be the only person who ever wants to play Garen, man. I get this in every game. Oh, if you're curious, yeah, I lost 74 LP last game for going 8. That was kind of a troll. I should have just rolled at 7 that game. At 3-5. But, you know, I would have won out, maybe. Oh, that is not a great opening. Okay, well, what about... Shimmer, man. Shimmer's only good if he gets 6. At this, it's so lame. I just realized this is 7 gold, and I probably, yeah, that's fine. Probably not getting. You get rejected.
I will show you the path.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I not just slam this and play for BT? Probably right. Miss a swing game, true. Any difference? I don't even think I should slam. I'm trying to lose streak, right? I mean, I can't even. How much gold is this? I actually need to win to make econ next round. Well, gotta win then. I kind of want to speedrun the Target Prime. Like, the thing is, there's one really bad Target Prime, and that's the really, really god-awful bad one is, fuck, what's it called? The two Nikos. Two orange Nikos. If you get that while you're playing Garen, you're probably going to go 8th, because everyone else is going to just hit, like, some stupid high roll bullshit. But aside from that, I think every other one is okay.
Noxus will rise.
Guess we're fighting.
Hey, double TG's. Oh, double TG is kind of bad because you have a lot of random items in your units, but yeah, it's not terrible. You use TG Nasus and you're probably fine, right? Oh, he's level 5 here. That sucks for me. Okay.
Zon is the future.
Two BFs? I was a little worried. I didn't see the BF. I was like, huh? Yeah, like, I feel like I just speedrun the target and figure out what it is and then call it a day kind of deal. Boom.
Ionia. Place was so damn quiet before I came along.
I think I'm supposed to sell this. I think I sell this, right? Realistically, the value is not worth as much as the gold here. I hit 9 here because of that sell, and I sell this and I hit 30 next round. I'm a fucking beast. What? What? Oh, thank God. He didn't lick the sandbag. I don't sell Warwick here, I don't think. Is what okay? What could the target? The target probably can drop radiant items, right? Like I could get like a crazy radiant item, correct? Pretty happy. Pretty sad. Oh wait, pretty happy. That's half Rage Blade. To get level here, right? Wait, that's full Rage Blade. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. I am about to spike. You lose 20 HP. It's fine. That's not bad. I was gonna slam this, but the more I think about it, the more I'm probably not gonna slam it. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yeah. No. 41 health. 57. I need to lose 17 more life. That's fine. Alright, Juggernaut +1 here. Double trouble. It's not that good. I lose so much damage reduction, actually. It sucks. Kind of sick, but I can't play it. Oh, it's definitely this.
If I don't kill you, son.
Why are you guys pogoing? I deserve this, okay? For last game, I deserve this. 17%. Okay. Double trouble. Oh, he has Mana Zane with double trouble. How did he know he was gonna play this comp? He just held all the units, and he got double trouble anyways. Oh no, he rolled a 0. Okay, never mind. Forget it. That makes more sense. Okay, guys. One more round to Prime. Okay. What's the shred here? 50%. Okay. Wait, I want to lose. Oh. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, man? I had no BFs. Oh, man. Damn, I shouldn't even got this. Just something I made off this. But it's like nothing. It's Vow and then what? Literally nothing? I mean, look, I have Giga Healing here, at least. I would like to win this one and lose this one, if that'd be okay. I didn't see two other. I started with 2 Garens, haven't seen a Garen yet.
Demacia is my home, but I'll never forget Ionia.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
I am Storm's reckoning.
It's actually pretty decent for me. I can just stay 7 and roll. But I would need to hit something at 7, I think. This guy is playing Shojin. Wait, he's almost got 3-star. That's interesting. Okay. I mean, does he even do enough damage to kill my Garen here? There's no way, right? Perfect. My camera's top right. Whoops. Sorry, it's supposed to be top left. It was top right because my PC crashed and it reset my OBS. Which is crazy, but yeah, that's just it is what it is. That did happen. Please give me a lot of BFs. A lot of BF. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Noxus will rise.
I will rule the Freljord.
Show them the strength of Demacia.
Just looking for a road home.
Victory awaits.
I want to slam Locket actually.
Will never fade.
Dawn's with me every fight. This time's no different.
Okay, more Omni Vamp. Vamp is always good. Feeling good. Oh, I should put this on someone. It's probably just on this. I don't really want to put any items on anyone else, so I guess we're just chilling. 6 pills? Oh my god. Okay. Fucking Chad over here. Giga Chad over here. The biggest problem is like I'm at the point where like okay, I hit 6 Juggernaut, that's good, but I need to hit oh wow, I beat this guy, that's crazy. Damage reduction is insane. I need to hit legendaries because they're my +1s. My +1 is like I need to hit Heimer and shit like that, which is really difficult. Get him out. Lobby played Piltover, die before Wolves. That is impressive. Karma over Invokers. Oh, it is, but I didn't want to wait the augment from last time.
Demacia must lead by example.
I'm wondering if it's ever worth playing 4 defense. Demacia should. Oh god, Demacia is fucking weird, man. This is Jarvan, and I'm done, I guess. I was supposed to play Invoker in the last round, but I didn't because I didn't want to fuck this guy. Huh? Oh, he's transitioning. His board is. Wait, this is the guy who played the Piltover, right? Wait, didn't he just went from 6 Piltover? Oh, never mind. This guy's the Piltover. How about the Urgot game? Oh, my PC crashed and I lost. You know, the usual. See the FanFest stream? I was not watching a different convention. But I heard you can dye your stuff twice now, which is quite poggers. If I care about how I end this game, there's a good chance that the best thing to do is actually to level up. I think I need a Heimer to secure the win here. But also me not hitting Garen 3 is kind of spooky. Do you want a Heimer? Yeah, but I want items more than I want the Heimer. To be honest, Heimer is probably worth an item. Now that you think of it, now that you mention it. I feel like I'm pretty strong. Oh, he's in the corner, so he killed everything else. That's pretty good. A couple days ago, you're the man. Oh, thank you. Like, in this situation, what do I do? Oh, we have Last Whisper. Okay, that's great. This guy is Heimer 2? How do these guys always get Heimer 2, man? He has no items at all on Heimer? Interesting. Which LP we farmed? We were up to like 160, but I just lost 70 for a bad 8th. So I think we're now 70, 80 LP. I'm down to play this guy. This guy does not look strong. A pretty good loss for him, right? 3 to loss. Is he gonna just sell his T-Hex here? He played War Demacia. I don't know if I want to play 5 Demacia. I think it's whatever. Dude, wait. 5 Heimers are out of the pool. Oh. Maybe I just roll it. Maybe I just roll at 7 then. I'm pretty sure at the level. Senna is huge here.
Shurima is not of this time.
Victory awaits. Show them the strength of Demacia. Demacia, now and forever.
Tempted to just slam this. Okay, I am good. I eventually replacing this with Senna and placing this with any fucking thing in the game. Senna plus Heimer, I think is my last 2 units. That is unfortunate that he had the aerial rise. If I had this last round, I would have won. I think I need a roll here. Okay, I'm all in.
Noxus will rise.
You should have left
I
home.
thought you really want to level this.
For great
It's-
science!
You should have left home years ago.
Victory awaits. Show them the strength of Demacia.
I bring death.
Okay, I can drop these units now. Wait, I got QSS against this guy? No way, I just fucking cheesed him like this. Wow. Wow, the likeliness of this happening is like,
Will never fade.
huh. I killed him too. Failure is kind of hot here. We're gonna play.
I will rule the Freljord.
Trinko. Let's do some health here. I don't really need Heimer. No, ain't no way, bro. I didn't lock this shit. Why the f Oh, he has QSS. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I am first.
For great science.
So the win true. Give me some Jarvins. That I say whoops.
I'll be fine.
You need double shrink. Wow.
This will put a wrench in their plans.
Lock for this. I lost? No way I lost to this guy. Oh, I think I messed up because my turret position was bad. Yeah, Challenger Heimer stunned so a lot. Fuck, man. I just like how to spin. I think it just depends. Honestly, if I just had QSS, it would have been fine. It's okay. I mean, I went second with Garen. Isn't that like a dub? Look at all these people playing Ornn and Acel, and then look at me, the only Yi player. I'm dubbing. All right, I'm gonna play some ads. You even inspired me to play Master Yi Garen. Yeah, I'm owning. I hope you too find success. 9 math of 9 1 for 31 months. Have a good day. Thank you. Oh my god, it's already 8. I hope everyone I face plays Yi Garen. Yeah, I hope they high roll the hell out of you and you get upset. Over a year, realize is Acel. Yeah, I think with E, you want to not lose streak. At least not that bad, because you gain stats without losing life. Soul Fighter TFT mode, never played it. Personally, I think TFT side modes have never been very good. Like they don't have much staying power, IMO. For me, I personally just don't enjoy them that much. See, addicted to Juggernauts? I'm not addicted, but if the game gives me pumping up, when else am I supposed to play? I'm being forced into playing it. Ba, 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 ba. No, it's dreaming pool. It's fine. I can dream myself a Garen. I've been fans since season 3 dig. Wait a second. Wait, this guy? Wait, but I didn't play in season 3. Wait a second.
Keep your enemies close, and me closer.
Could've swear I remember you guys started season 2. I'm pretty sure I didn't play in the season 3 dig roster. Someone can double check for me though. Wait, did I? Wait, I did. For half a split. Right? I did for half a split. Never mind. Wait. Yeah, I did for half a split. I'm the one trolling. Yeah, you're right.
Piltover's finest.
If I don't kill you, so
You leave my streamers gaslighting me? Dude, that's sorry. It's bad memory. Alright, hold on. Let me order something so I can focus on the game after. Is this even good? I'm trying to think. Actually, if I'm playing Juggernauts, don't I eventually get Aatrox too? That's also pretty good. Me trying to justify Juggernauts every game, by the way. But you can make 20 gold. That is true. The worst part is I think to myself I can kill a unit every round, which I can. But unfortunately, the unit is a fucking voidling, man. JK, I got a unit. It owns.
Ionia. Place was so damn quiet before I came along.
What do I do? I can't. What can I do? Oh, what can I do? I can't do anything. Well, I can't do anything. I'm not addicted. Literally, the game gave it to me. What am I gonna do? Say no? Yeah, Mort literally gave it to me. I would be slapping him across the face if I said no. And I wouldn't want to do that. Dude. Again? Mort, dog. You're the best, baby. Da-ba-ba. Oh. Come on, spin one more time. Oh, okay, got one. This guy's board looks kind of good.
As Ionia changes, so must I.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I've changed. How have I changed? You've changed.
If I don't kill you, son.
Oh, I've won lost. It's whatever. I might try new positioning for Garen this game. I have this feeling that Garen's really good if you surround him with stuff. Maybe I just backline everything that's not Garen. That feels kind of scary. Maybe we do 1-to-1 left and right of him. Remember when I was a flex player? That I don't think I'm me a flex player. I'm good. You're normally 50 HP by the time you've changed. What? That is kind of true.
Glory of Demacia.
Good shit, more good shit.
Noxus will rise. I love Demacia. It's the only place
My positioning wise, what if I do? Oh, do something like this. 2-star gear at level 4? Yeah, that's fine, man. If I lifesteal, I just need triple combat Augs here. I'm good. Either that or I think Juggernaut Spat is like giga good. Oh, no lifesteal is kind of bad. Okay, 4 Juggernauts. Only trade that's active. It's looking good. If I get Juggernaut Spat here, it would be super sick. Is this good? I'm okay. I think it's worth leveling to 30 here for sure. And then hopefully I get like lifesteal. 2 jugs means 2 less gears. That's true. The one fun part about this comp that's completely unintentional is I actually griefed the Noxus players by playing this comp. I think it's kind of fucking hilarious.
Divine lust that tastes your own blood.
Do this. Trying to surround my thing and seeing if the position is better. Because you can get, like, you should guarantee to do this as long as he can't die. I don't know if he can die, but if he lives, this is the best way to do your comp, right? It's a little spooky though. This item is so... It healed 3,500. What the hell? No, I want too hard here. I think it's fine. Usually this is the least desirable item. And so I'm not worried. And there's 2 of them. I'm not worried. God, it was left to the end. I have a fully upgraded Juggernaut board at 3.5. That is crazy. Isn't this like an awesome thing? Holy moly. The high roll is an average roll, okay? This is just a normal Garen game. All my Garen games go like this. This is not good. This guy tried to tome and got Invoker. Oh no. He missed. That guy is not gonna have fun. Yeah, these kind of suck, but at least I can turn them into Morello and some garbage. I don't know, man. Okay, that's a free Garen. Nice. Our biggest problem is, God, I guess I have to hit the. I guess it's just gonna give me Aatrox. That's fine. Does Aatrox have any AP ratios? The way I'm thinking about Aatrox is what happens if I R-changes him and he ultis and just goes into someone's body and he comes out like at the end of the fight. Oh, not good ones? Okay. This got cashed. Oh, this is kind of spooky. This guy ought to win the game, by the way. Combat Caster, Sork Emblem, and then he gets Ari for free. We'll see.
Victory awaits.
Oh my god. I guess I go 8 and I just natural all the Garens. Dream Post free top 2? Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then when you play Garen, it's like a free top 1. Oh, Lena, thanks to the raid. Welcome to the stream, guys. Holy moly. Oh my. Welcome to the stream, guys. I am currently playing. Holy moly. Hold up a sec. Gonna play TFT. I am chilling. How do I. Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. That raid message, my Nightbot deletes something that's a little long. I apologize if it's a little long. Just a tiny bit long. Do I put this on? It's gotta be the best thing I can make here. Yeah, welcome to. I'm literally playing Garen, like a shitload of Garen. Oh, my Garen died. Oh, play Valo. I can't. Well, not that I can't. I'm just chilling. But yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm Scarra. I stream TFT, random Riot games, and some random other games when I feel like it. Usually I'm obsessed with 3 games, and currently I think it's like TFT. I think usually all the Riot games are +1. What do I do here? They got Yi to Shadow. Oh, is this good?
I love Demacia. It's the only place I've been.
I don't like all this stuff at the back. I have figured it out. I'm not a fan. It said we will change and we'll do something like this. 2 3s would have been decent. The problem is you get 3 units, so that's 333 life for all your units, right? It's not bad. I think it's worse when I get to Garen 3 though. Wait, what if you get Titans Resolve and then you get Radiant Titans? Isn't that OP? That combo sounds insane. Come on, spin. Oh my god, wait. Wait, I actually want this. That is... Good shit, good shit. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to 8. Oh, there's a Noxus player? Oh, yeah, it's weird that this just shits on Noxians. And enemies with 100 more HP or mana, that's actually really good. It's all the tanks, which I have stuff struggling to kill, except for this guy. Homies are what do I do with this, man? Luckily, if I get frozen here, I can still spin. Spin to win. Dude, this comp is so fun. Everyone else in my elo is trying to play stuff like Ari, Aphelios, Zeri, and I'm here just spinning every game like a fucking madman. And I'm winning. I'm not even just spinning. I'm spinning and winning. Garen does scale with AP, but it's not it's not ideal. The armor and G4, you can make it a thing, yeah, but I wouldn't want to, you know.
My room Terra will be beautiful.
Shaky TV, Walmart 7 months. I'll never forget the Calamina Warmog Slam days. Oh, I don't even remember those. Radley Zephyr. I'm okay. I'm feeling quite spinny today. Oh, you got gifts in the Fallen. Okay. Do I win this? Oh, wow, I don't win this? That's fine. I mean, I play 2 more, and I'm good. You can... Okay, I think I needed this to beat him. The problem that I realize now is if I'm playing 6 Juggernaut, which is really good, right? Every other game I've had Juggernaut spats, when I hit level 8, I can play Heimer or some sort of shred. I can't really do that this game. Oh, my matchup. 30% more damage, baby. Okay. What a weird game where whatever. I'm pumping up. We're good. We're good. Probably sell this just to make sure I don't get Empress. 。 Oh, this is pals, even though cannons. Unlucky. Dude, I just get like 2 full Zeeks or something. Oh my god.
Demacia, now and forever. Victory awaits. Victory awaits.
Did I just sell my... Alright, what am I left with here? No way I won that. Yeah. Kiss the Aatrox is really good. Wait, why is that good? I mean, I probably have to slam out anyways. I mean, I'm down. Bro, I don't even need a spin to win. Oh my god. Okay, now I go 9 and play Heimer. And I'm good to go. My comp is done. I was like, real talk, I would probably late game remove these 2. And hope and find, like, I would move QSS to Garen if possible, because I think that, well, depending on what I need for these comps, I think that having these 2 units is kind of a grief. Okay. Should I scales with AS? Yeah, I think so. Oh, okay, spin for me, spin for me, spin for me. Okay. Slayers, okay, here. Nicest player died? Yeah, that's unlucky. I should probably prepare for Aatrox regame this game. Okay. RE2, 8 Sork. Okay. And he even got edge? That's fucking crazy. Actually, he looks really easy. Like, no joke. Yep. Easy peasy. Okay, okay, wait, who am I playing against? 6 Zon. Jinx 3, 6 Zon. He has Robo Arm on, okay, he has the wrong augments on the units. Wait. He has Kemting on. If he had adaptive on Garrett, that's like just way better. Spin the win, baby. Look at how much health I'm healing. Okay. Okay. What can I really want here?
Glory of Demacia will never fade. I am Gangan. Your gods fear me.
Any volunteers to charge blindly into a storm of souls?
If I sound rude, it's because I've got a world to save.
I'm not even gonna fucking use this. Because I'm planning on fucking getting rid of Demacia next round. And putting the QSS on this unit, I think. Oh. Garrett's been counter Slayer. Yes.
You should have left home years ago.
Sure. Yeah. I hope he hits me for the. Okay, good. Oh, that is not good. Oh, that is good. Okay. Yeah, I'm literally, I got 40 guys, 40. I'm literally making Garen stats go first. We're spinning all the way. Go play some ads. Like, I'm not saying I'm playing Garen every game, but I'm just saying if Mortdog drops me 3 Garens naturally and a Rage Blade, I don't know. I don't know what's to happen. Bum. What is it? Oh, Marius a magnum. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I thought Garrett was gonna be a lot worse, but like I've beaten like our cap board today nonstop with Garrett.
Ionia still stands.
They will feel pain they've never imagined.
Oh my god.
Ionia. Place was so damn
No. The make it 10? Yeah, I'm not making 10 with set pair here. Hope it's prismatic. This is fun.
Ionia still stands.
The boss, please.
Ionia. Place was so damn quiet before I came along.
Her mogul is broken. Oh, you heard right.
I have but one life.
Oh,
to
you
give
heard
for
nothing
Ionia.
but facts.
I must make it count.
It says earlier you can't get the econ most of the time. Oh, trust me. With Ionian set 2, I can get the econ. Actually, it's kind of... Wait. Kind of spooky. Woo! Okay, I got spooked there. I got a little spooked there.
Reporting in.
Name's Samira. Try not to slow me down.
Do I go Warmox here or Sunfire? What if I make 10 now? Oh, I could sell this? Shit, I probably should have. Wait, I didn't even make. I got solo targeted. He didn't get the 40. What? That kind of sucks. That kind of blows, man.
Noxus will rise.
Was that 80% of the time? No, watch me. It'll be fine. No way I double fucking hit 40 again. I'm so sad. I'm so fucking sad. Solar front line set makes enemies close to skill that tons of damage. Yeah, okay, but also I can't even get him to get hit 40 times. Oh, that's 2 gold already. That's so much. That's so ass, man.
Name's Samira. Try not to slow me down.
So am I gonna be a Garen game? I mean, are you? Is that a question or is that like a statement? This guy has Callista too. Oh no. I didn't get it procced. There's no fucking way. It's like, there's no way.
Let's start the show.
Wait, I got gold 1 round. This two rounds. The 1 round. That's fucking insane. I'm so sad.
I will restore Freljord's greatness.
Stacks. Hole breaker. Exoskeleton. Oh my god. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Just what am I supposed to do? Okay?
As Ionia changes, so must I.
God, I really want to play Garen from here, but isn't it kind of grief? Oh, if I hit the boss, it'd be sick. But I need to warmog him so he lives to get gold.
There will be peace in the Freljord. I will forge it.
It's fine, guys. Uzmo, thanks to Ray. Welcome to the stream, guys. I got a farm last time I played him. Simply Uzi, pivot into herbs. Ooh, I'm not opposed to the idea. I would never -1. Dude, I don't know, man.
I may be merciful, but Targon isn't.
I try to play new characters. I actually kind of like Haze. She is really fun, actually. Of all the characters I've played, she's the only one I liked. I like the cat girl, but I think and Martina, but she's awful. I'm the best Haze in a. All right. I don't even know. Who's your competition? Like 4 people, man? Yeah, rank 1 in 8 tonight. Every single herb streamer has the title rank 1 in their title. I'm not even kidding. Every single one. How am I supposed to know which one is actually rank 1? There's no way. They've all put rank 1 in there. Every single guy. We are all actually rank 1. That doesn't make any fucking sense. There's 150 rank 1s? Oh. Okay. We are all 20 of us are rank 1. All right, man. 20 rank 1 players, huh? Interesting. Just everyone's rank 1. For real, the game stopped. It reset MMR for preseason, so we get to the reset. We can't come higher because we're too high to pop with everyone. Oh. Also, by the way, I think Sedge was the best pick there. Half of that one item, and getting a Sedge is worth a shitload. So my bad for not taking that. I mean, League Arena stream. I've been playing like League Arena, TFT, Valo, Eternal Return. I've been playing a lot of random stuff. I'll be honest, kind of all over the place. Actually, I played more Eternal Return off stream than I have on stream. So Sabatoshi, welcome back for 16 months. Thanks for subbing. Fuck this unit, man. He's level 750 gold. What? How? Wait, there's a 6 HP and a 7 HP. I didn't even realize. Wait, these guys are so low. What? What happened?
Look out! There's a new boss around here. From the shadows.
Wait, don't I roll at 7 this game because I have return on investment? I think I do roll at 7 this game. Oh, my health is kind of bad. I need a combat augment. Actually, not having one here is really... It's kind of stressing me out. Oh, that's not for me. Not for me. Is it really Harmesis? Fuck it, it's Harmesis.
I am Storm's reckoning.
Knock knock. Vengeance calling.
I should roll more. Got it. Got it. My bad. I should roll more.
I will restore the Lord's greatness. I will rule the Crown Lord.
You're going to love this.
I bring death.
Feel the power of true ice.
Do I really need 4 Deadeye? How many times have I rerolled? 17 times. I spent 10 gold, reroll 5 times next round, and then drop in Lysandra, and I call it for the day. or for the round, they go then let go level 8s. Oh my god. The Sedge or the Aphelios? Probably the Aphelios. See the Robin sounds sweet? Yeah, it's fucking funny. So I'm just looking
Demacia must
5
lead by
times,
example.
4, 5. Perfect. All right. How's it look? It looks okay, right? Like, it could be worse, right? Have you seen an NPC that identifies all items for you in PoE? Have you seen there's an NPC? Wait, really? That's nice. Okay. Oh my god, 6 Zon. What's he got? Virulent. Okay. Shimmer. Hextech. Spooky. Very spooky. I'm gonna play this guy. This guy does not look that good. And this guy looks okay. So he's doing subpar damage. Yeah, I wonder why. This guy's fucking 1-star, man. Oh, 8 HP is so bad. Oh, I'm in such a bad spot, man. I can't believe I needed to find Aphelios too. The last word Darius? Yeah, last word doesn't seem that bad. He's kind of owning. Kind of has 3 combat augments. Do I even really level here? Like, I feel like I kind of have to roll, right?
Are all southerners so weak?
Just looking for a road home.
I sound rude because I've got a world to save.
Oh, shit. I mean, this looks pretty good. Is it Freljord map? Like, it's a Ionian map. Why am I against a fucking BIS RE2? What? I played against RE2 Belvet too. Huh. Okay. Look, I'm just saying. I play Garen top 2. I play this random shitty guy. Fucking where'd I go? I'm just saying. If I play Garen here, who knows what could have happened. Mogobil looked terrible. It was kind of bad, yeah. It was worse than I expected. 40 stacks was actually kind of incredibly hard. I'm trying to think. I wonder if I just end my stream here. I'm going to Scarra TFT. I think that's terrible. I think popping up is worth 2 Zeeks anyways. So you're saving your items and you're getting a better augment. IMO. I think TF is gigabait after they nerfed the Zeeks. Got 6 Zeeks up there, it doesn't fucking matter. I think I'm done for the day. It's kind of late. I'm gonna go eat and then probably set some stuff up in my room. All right, guys, I'm out. Have a great night. I will go ahead and host Celine. Have a great night, guys.